staple.
3 games in a row.
Whatever. You guys are the best 5-8 team in the league. All right. Well, what we're going to bring you here, we're going to do it one more time at least. Breaking it up in parts. We're going to start you out with the starters here.
This is a little redone thing. We're going to have pictures.
Yeah.
You don't have to stare at our ugly mugs all day. We got T-shirts, really cool. I got a naked chick in some cereal that I would definitely like to have her make a sandwich for me, and then some sex, probably.
Yeah.
But let's talk about some football, I guess.
Sure, why not? But
Dan's going to drink a Beast today with me.
You have your Beast.
Oh, well, here, come on. You got to do it now.
I want to do it.
We'll trade. That's...
Dear Lord, baby, what?
It's good stuff. What are we starting out with? Are we going Stardoms right now? Is this the Stardom segment?
It smells like your shit all day.
There's a reason that happened. So I want to give a shout out to Mountain Union before we start. That was the best game I've ever seen.
Shit.
Dude, it's good. Give it a try. Come on.
Actually, that's not bad. I'm not gonna lie.
All right. Am I going first?
Yeah.
All right. My first guy is... I never liked him that much, but Carson Palmer this week. Little do you know, he's thrown for 350 yards 5 times this year
That's
or
not
more.
Too shabby.
That's, that's like kind of Tom Brady loft. You have to look that up. I don't know how many times Brady and Peyton have done it, but they're ranked 6th in passing offense this year, going against Kansas City's defense, which has allowed the worst opposing quarterback rating all year, 101. So that's a reason right there. Efficiency is a must. Third down percentages are real high against Kansas City's defense. We saw what happened to him last week. The Browns are going to hang 30 on him, make it look easy. I think Oakland has a few weapons there. One weapon I'll mention later, but they got a good wide receiving core that is actually at his disposal right now, and I just think I'm probably benching Tony Romo for Carson Palmer this week. If that just right there will tell you what I'm expecting.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, I'm in that NFL.com league, and I've had him starting for about 6 weeks now. And he's held his own against these other quarterbacks that everybody's playing.
He's falling behind early, so he's getting the numbers in. So
it doesn't matter if they win or lose in fantasy football.
I know, but that's why. That's a lot of the reason for it. But I would definitely look for Carson Palmer as a must-start this week. If you got him over a Flacco, over Russell Wilson, if God forbid you have him, but you can get Carson Palmer, I would start him over Colin Kaepernick, too.
Yeah, I wish I would have started him last week, but hey. It is what it is. Hindsight's 20/20. As the
Ryan
Irish...
Tannehill, Kevin Euclid. I'll start him over Kevin Euclid. What?
Oh, fuck you. What?
Shout out to Mark Reynolds.
All right, we're going to move on here. No Sean Moreno going up against Baltimore. Ever since Chad jumped on the Moreno wagon here,
it's been a great pickup.
He really hasn't disappointed. Last week, 119 yards, tallied almost 17 standard points there. He's going up against Baltimore this week. It could spell out another good week. They're giving up 129 yards on the ground as the 25th ranked rush defense, and as we see almost every week, whoever's running against him is getting some pretty good yards.
He's a guy that he's in the pass game too.
Yeah,
he's just all around in that offense, and Peyton Manning gets the first downs, and you got to worry about Peyton Manning. So
that's why they run opens.
And Moreno was, after all, a top 15 pick at one point in his career. So
he's finally getting the carries.
And that's why they kept him. Like I said 3 weeks ago when I said people should pick him up as a sleeper, he's the guy. They kept him for this emergency reason. So, and this is the emergency now. And he's finally thrust into the limelight. So I would definitely start him this week. I'm thinking about starting him over Ray Rice. I don't know if I can pull the trigger on that in a playoff game to go into the championship match in a pay league. But
you play to win.
Wow. I got to do a lot of soul searching for that. I got to sit around in like a bathtub with like candles, a bunch of Milwaukee's Best, and just like vibe.
Sitting there with your rubber duckies and your building blocks and try to etch a sketch, But hey,
dude, I miss those days. I actually had Sesame Street toys growing up that I played with in the bath, but that's neither here nor there. My next guy is Michael Crabtree, one of Dan's favorites for some reason. I'm not a big Crabtree fan, however, I like him this week, Dan. Going against New England. And Crabtree, Colin Kaepernick's been hitting him a lot.
Yeah,
he's got 8 receptions average over the last 2 games. And what else we got? Oh, yeah, the Patriots ranked 26th in pass defense, which there's a reason for that stat. It's because they jump ahead early as the number 1, so other teams got to pass to catch up, which you kind of saw a witness of that against Houston yesterday, Monday, was 21-0. You got to play catch up and
Yep.
throw the ball on him. But, and they're in Foxborough again, which leads me to believe New England will win the game, jump out early. Means it's going to be a pass, and Crabtree's the best option they got. Vernon Davis on him. Expect both of them to have solid receiving games, maybe not the touchdown output, but at least close to 90 yards minimum, hopefully a touchdown. So, that's a solid play if you ask me. In a playoff, you want guaranteed points. That's what you look for.
I don't know if a lot of people know this, but Crabtree, last 3 years, he's been increasing receptions, yards, and touchdowns. You can look it up. I looked it up, which is a big reason I'm big onto him. He's increased it slowly over the last couple of years.
I'm not big on him just because I thought
he hasn't broke out. But
I thought he was going to be like a top. Like when he came out, he was. I'm trying to think of who I would compare him to. Blackman though this year is kind of the same as what I see. What I'm seeing is like a guy that was coming out. He had all the physical tools. He dominated in the college game. He wasn't like a guy that was like Peter Warrick type in college, but he was like. This is a guy that you want. You want him now because you think he's going to be a great big guy, but he's not. He hasn't produced those type of numbers. In San Francisco, though, it might be that frivolous offense that they run. It's like safety. They don't really want to go downfield a lot, but I still expected a lot more than what I've seen. He's coming on now, so maybe it took him a little time.
You also got to look at the offense he played in. Texas Tech. That's all they did was throw the ball.
Yeah, but you still don't talk about Texas Tech guys coming out and say that. Well,
Wes Welker's a Texas Tech guy. That's not what I was saying.
Wes Welker's a Texas Tech guy, so
and he puts up the numbers because of Tom Brady. They sling the ball just like the offense he was in.
The scouts know, but Crabtree had the physical specimen. He had the 40 time. He had the, he had all the workout numbers too to go along with it. He wasn't just a production numbers guy but towards the end of that combine, I remember they said Jeremy Maclin was going to be a better pro receiver, which. It looks like both now, if you ask me. But they're not busts, but they're guys that are
mediocre.
They're average receivers, but both of them they said would be Pro Bowl guys. That 09 class, I did a lot of research in. That's why I know a lot. That class, I was so deep in the draft that year, more than I usually am. Like, to me, that was like one of my favorite classes.
Well, that's good to hear.
I don't know why.
I'm going to take us off this 5-minute Michael Crabtree here. We're trying to cut it down for you guys so you don't have to sit here and look at us for 40
Good
minutes.
point.
But I'm going with Josh Freeman this week, playing against the 30th ranked New Orleans pass defense. They give up an average of 284 yards a game, which is quite a bit. October 21st, actually, they had already played, and Josh Freeman, he threw for 420 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks.
I think we called him to start that game, too. We'll
I believe
have to look
we
up
did.
some
But,
stat digging.
the numbers don't lie. You can look for him to do it again. I would expect it because that defense hasn't improved all year. So
we saw it happen.
I would go with him.
They gave up. Well, they had defense. They gave up a lot of yards to Eli last week too. Basically, start any running back or quarterback you have that goes against the Saints defense at this point. I think it's a safe bet in the playoffs. I would advise that. My next guy is my no-brainer pick for the week. It's not the best matchup in the world, but Ricky will stand up for this. CJ Spiller is a guy, well, you agree too. This guy could probably be top 3 fantasy material if Chan Gailey would pull his head out of his butt and finally realize that he's got a top tier running back, and CJ Spiller averages 6.5 yards a carry.
That's kind of ridiculous. That's
And
Jim Brown status.
Well,
well, you can't compare him to
Hold on, player.
Cleveland Browns players.
that's sacrilegious there. He's got
team is.
In the 3 games that Fred Jackson has played, Spiller's had 230 yards and 3 touchdowns. So that tells you right there he's going to find the end zone when he gets the touches. He gets you the points. I'm banking on him so hard this week. The Fred Jackson injury, I hate to say it, but that's finally going to give Spiller the carries he's been deserving all year. So I'm saying start him. Even though it's a hard matchup against Seattle, I still like the odds.
Seattle played pretty well last week. I know Arizona's not a great team, but hey. But
here's to you, Ken, and your unemployment.
I've got the Steelers D playing them this week. They had an awful showing last week, which, that's being nice. But their number 1 overall defense.
What was that play they had in the end zone that Brown fought? I just saw it on the highlight, real quick.
I really don't want to talk about it right now.
All right, go ahead. Talk about the defense.
Exactly. They're the number 1 overall defense. First against the pass, 5th against the rush. Just right there, going up against Dallas. We're going to talk about some of the other players later. But
Dez Bryant's out.
DeMarco Murray's a crappy running back.
said,
Yeah, we'll get to that later.
he's not a good yards per carry
He's not
back.
a good back, period. But I would just Steelers D. Most likely they're not available because a lot of people sit on them. But if they are, I'd grab them.
If you haven't started him, I don't know if you. Maybe if you have multiple defenses.
They're not going to come off a week like that and play again. But
the
weird
fuck
things
happened
have
last week, Dan? Sorry, I didn't mean to swear. That was bad. Ben was back. They were supposed to win that. That was a must win.
I don't know, but
It happens.
still got the wild card spot right now. Just got to win another game or two.
Coming for you.
Whatever. But yeah,
That's gonna be a good wager we're gonna have at the end of the year. But that's neither here nor there. That's 2 weeks from now when we do our cartel themed podcast with non-cocaine.
But we're gonna finish this beer here.
This is delicious Milwaukee's Best Ice, brought to you by the fine people at Miller.
Maybe we'll get some advertisements here. I don't know.
Dude, they don't have any other advertisements. Jose Canseco is the Milwaukee spokesman. If that tells you what the state of that
That
is.
is awful. But as we said before, we're bringing it to you.
Wait, I guess
segments.
it goes like this. It's like a Viking horn or something.
Oh, I did see him. He posted a
He
picture.
did.
didn't
He showed.
Yeah,
I think you have to do it like that, but I like the little Ninja Turtles thing too.
By the way, guys, we appreciate the support. A lot of you guys are hanging in with us, letting us know what's up.
we got a lot of Browns fans that get shout outs. No Steeler fans because they didn't want any. But there's like 15 Browns fans that get shout outs today.
We'll get there.
That's coming in the next.
I'm
segment.
panhandling for followers, guys. We'll get there.
We'll work for followers.
Hey,
I'm sorry. It's all right.
hey, we're both trying to get followers here.
Dude,
just
we
to
have
get the word out.
we have rabid fans, Dan, and they love the elf. A lot of people love
That's
the elf.
true.
That's a lot of it. People live and die with the elf. But what'd you think?
Wasn't
Pretty
too bad.
delicious, huh? I think
I
we got
wouldn't
a
say
believer.
delicious, but it was pretty good. I'm gonna stick with my
Bet you never thought you'd ever say that.
piss in a can.
All right, let's go chop
All
this
right,
up to the
guys.
next segment.
We'll see you later.
Next segment.